All right, I have the green light now. So, welcome to the Great Pitch Contest, but it is not another pitching session. It is a very, very important one, and I'd like to share with you why. Because Wolf Summit Great Pitch Contest, this particular session is powered by LG, and as you know, we started our collaboration, and today we will see the results. You will see the finalists of the LG Future Home Global Innovation Challenge. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce our jury that we have here with us in the front row where you can see the light. So we have here Michael Holtkamp, venture partner at LG. Round of applause. Segi Oh, Director of H&A and R&D Center at LG. John Han, Venture Partner at LG. Tae-Hong Park, Head of Venture Client Unit at LG. And Gergo Gulyas from Wolf's X, I would say, right? Our new team member to Wolf Summit. All right, so without further ado, I would like to introduce our first startup, and I believe that Arshia is ready, so if you can approach me. Here. We will soon see your presentation on the screen, and that's when I will start my timer to 3 minutes.
And I'm going to quickly ask you which side is forward.
Yeah, like this.
Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah. All right, great. So we've got 3 minutes to pitch. You are free to go now.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name's Arshia Gracio, and Hi, can you hear me? Brilliant. My name's Arshia Gracio, and I am the founder of Upnews. Upnews is a health tech company that's converting the smartphone into a respiratory sensor. So why is that important? I'm sure this is a fact for people. 90% of the world breathes about 90,000 liters of toxic air a day. That's a lot. And that's the reason why about 350 million people today suffer from asthma, which is a chronic respiratory disease. I chose these countries specifically to show you because this is not a third world problem. It impacts everybody, including resource-rich countries. And that is the reason why and the motivation behind Upnews. It also affects chronic respiratory diseases, also affects healthcare expenditure, as you know. A lot of us depend on our national health services and also private healthcare, and it costs people and governments a lot of money to treat asthma and COPD and other respiratory diseases. So why Upnews? Because we are the only smartphone application that's able to convert 6.5 billion devices into respiratory sensors. Today, you can't find anything, no Apple Watch, no nothing, that's going to ever tell you what the condition of your lungs are. And because all of us breathe the same air, it impacts each of us very differently. So how are we going to find out what's going on inside of our lungs before a crisis sets in? And it is only because there is no correlation between severity and disease that we land up in hospital with asthma and attacks and so on and so forth. So what makes us different? We are not dependent on any hardware, no accessories, no nothing. All you do is take your phone out, switch on the Upnews app, look at your phone, take a deep breath, and then blow. That's about it. And what we do is convert audio into lung function and tell you whether you're obstructed, restricted, whether you have lower airways disease. So that's basically symptoms when you're asymptomatic that tell you that things are going to go wrong and you need help. That's how we're going to change the world and help people get through global warming and all the other horrors that are happening to us. So we're a very experienced team. We come from big tech, we come from software, we come from health services, and we have a pretty good understanding of what it is to make, say, an LG device work like an Apple device, work like a Samsung device. Why? Because we use only smartphones. So to be able to standardize the technology across all the different phones while being able to create a medical-grade device is something that this team is extremely well equipped to do. So we would like to invite you to work with us to be able to help people live their best lives, given that the air we breathe is something we can't change today. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Let's go straight to the questions. We've got 4 minutes, so you can grab your microphones and kick off the Q&A.
Yeah, maybe I start. Thanks for the presentation.
No problem.
So one question from my side is, how do you scale up the business? How do you make it effective, and how do you get your customers?
Sure. So currently we're looking at 2 different channels to market, B2B2C and through partnerships, basically. So because we're a medical device, our primary route to market is through payers and providers, but we're also white label, meaning that we want to be able to partner with companies like yourselves, or even health and wellness companies, to be able to brand our application and provide it as an API. So what would be ideal is to work with ThinQ and other platforms to be able to connect your devices to the data that's going to come from our application, either through the app or as an individual service that we provide. So that's really the business model that we're trying to follow. It's all completely license-based per user. And because we're not dependent on hardware, it is really install-based that we're activating.
We've got 3 minutes left.
What is your profit model for your business?
Yeah, so because we're no hardware again, we're basically looking at licenses. So which means our revenue is completely based on what the license is going to be. So setup cost plus the license per device. Now, because we're looking at the US is our primary market at the moment. So we have a reimbursable model that we can go down, which is £8 per year per license per user. And that's going to change depending on who it is that we're working with.
Mm-hmm.
Medical device is hard to penetrate because of all the regulations, and the market itself is very much contained by like a few players. What are your thoughts on sales in terms of like sales or penetration of the market?
Yeah, a great question. Thank you. So I think the COVID pandemic has really changed the tone for everybody at the moment. And digital health is becoming a topic which is becoming increasingly known and understood by the regulatory authorities. So there are very clear routes to certification that are now available, which were not available before. So the current state of the art is hardware for the kind of work that we do. So, and we're completely software-based. So from that perspective, we've done a comparator study with spirometry, which is a standard of care. And we've actually just come back from Singapore, where we tested about 400 participants that work in shipyards. And we were able to show about 95% accuracy versus medical devices. So we're already down that route. And we're working on getting our pre-sub and CE Class 2A certification. So we've already made pretty long strides down that. And for us, being able to get our certification in place is probably the biggest moat we can create for ourselves, because it's not easy. What we're doing is not easy. And the last thing we want to do is cause anxiety among our customers. So we have to make sure that we are accurate enough that we can tell somebody that their child had increased symptoms in the night and they need to see a doctor.
1 minute left. Any other questions?
Since I'm not an expert in this area, I assume there could be other potential competing solutions or approaches. What are they, and how are you different?
Yeah. So what we chose to do was not try to reinvent the wheel and try to create new biomarkers, so signs of disease. So companies that talk about voice biomarkers, that's a new thing at the moment. That is not an accepted standard of care in any hospital, payer, provider. Spirometry is. Peak flow is for respiratory diseases. So we didn't go down trying to teach people how to suck eggs. We're not doing that. We took an established way of measuring lung health, which is spirometry, peak flow, and we digitized it. So that's our step into the market. So this makes it very easy for us to be acceptable by clinicians. Now on top of that, because this is a single point measurement, and I think anybody who works with sensors here understand that you'll never trust the data that comes from a single sensor. So we're combining symptoms from other things like cough, disordered breathing, sputum color, all the things that point to respiratory disease. And we aggregate that data, and then we're able to stratify or look for problems in that person, the user that we're tracking. So that's how that's the difference, and that's how we get accepted as well.
Thank you so much. We ran out of time, but you managed to answer the question in time, so thanks a lot. And thank you for joining us on stage. And now we'll mix it up a bit, and we'll have a startup joining us online. So let us see whether we can dial in our next startup pitching, which is WineSpace. It may take a while. The presenting representative will be Sylvain Thibault, if I read correctly. Yeah?
Yes.
All right. We can see your presentation, so you can feel free to start. I'm starting the clock to 3 minutes. Good luck.
That's perfect, thank you. So I'm Sylvain from WineSpace, and today I'm going to talk about wine. And something I'm pretty sure many of you are struggling with is to choose wine. You must know how difficult it is to choose wine among such diversity of producers, vineyards, grape varieties, and all that stuff. So now imagine if you could have a wine expert with you whenever you need it, and if you can know the taste of any bottle without opening it. This is what we do at WineSpace. We use artificial intelligence and data to reproduce and digitize the skills of the greatest wine expert, such as the wine merchant, the sommelier, or the enologist. We've developed 2 innovative technology. The first one is a digital wine advisor. It is able to understand the needs of any consumer, asking the right question to provide expert recommendation. One of the strengths of this technology is the food and wine pairing part. This is very powerful. And the other strength is the data that it collects on the shop and on the consumer. So we're able to know the consumer needs. We're able to know if the product we offer meets the consumer needs, or if what is the most wine sold in the shop. The second technology is Tasty, the wine taste expert. So obviously, the artificial intelligence is not able to taste wine, so we relies on wine tasting command written by professional. So we use these textual commands that are not usable by a computer, and our innovation is to transform these textual commands that are produced by millions every year into usable and analyzable data. So thanks to this, we can know the taste of anyone on the market and get a ton of unique information out of this. Our technology are used by a wide variety of businesses and wine professionals, such as wine merchant, to provide advice to their client and to improve the commercial performance of the shop, but also buyer importer that use our technology to automate the sourcing of the wine based on specific criteria and taste. Wine critics and guides use our technology to get additional information out of the wine comments, and finally, an allergy consultant. Nowadays, we have several business models, SaaS solution, first of all, ready to use, but we can also develop custom solution for any players that wants to adapt our technology to its needs. And finally, we are planning to develop, to monetize our technology through API. It's coming soon. Nowadays, we're a team of 10 people, combining expertise in wine and AI, and we work in connection with researcher in AI from INRIA, which is the French National Institute in Research for Technology and Computer Science. And finally, the roadmap. So now we've got our first client. So the big part of energy is dedicated to business development, but some interesting part is the beer and spirit adaptation of our technology. It's been asked by many of our clients, so it's coming at the end of 2023. And finally, we have launched a new R&D project with INRIA, and we expect to have the result of this ambitious project and the first application by the end of 2023. Thank you for your attention.
Thanks so much. Round of applause to you from here, from Wrocław. And now we are already in the Q&A, so are there any questions from our judges?
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Well, it just happened that I participated in a very similar competition, which we did with winemakers. And I saw very similar products, but I didn't see a competition slide. Would you mind just please to elaborate on your competitors a little bit, please?
Yeah, for sure. We have several competitors on the wine digital advisor that are not using basically the same technology. I think we are better in the consumer experience. We do not do technology for technology. The objective is not to reinvent the wheel. It's just to reproduce what one expert do and the expertise and the consumer experience they can provide with digital tools. So it's very the idea is not to invent anything, it's to reproduce. And on the other part, nowadays we don't have any, they don't have any solutions that are as better than we have for analyzing wine tasting comments. Until now, all those data are not used because no one knows how to exploit them and get the information out of the text. So on this part, I'm pretty sure that our solution is far from any other competitor.
Thank you very much.
2 minutes to go. Any other questions?
Thank you for the presentation. So what I understand from your presentation is that your core capability or competence is getting various information from social network and somehow putting it together in a meaningful way for consumers, right? And I think you're saying that's different for wine space versus competitors. Can you say a few more words on that?
So it's not really about like finding information on social network. We work with professionals that give us the testing comments because it is part of their jobs to produce them. And nowadays it's just about setting the comments on his own as a text. And now we're getting value about analyzing this data. So people ask us to analyze the comments for them and about the digital wine advisor. I'm not sure I remember the question, but the idea is to provide solution for professional to improve, to make the business more efficient. It's not only like bringing technology, it's very about improving wine businesses. And the taste of wine is part of every wine businesses, and advice can be dedicated to consumer, but also to professional to help them in the daily work.
All right, I don't think we have time for more questions, so big round of applause for Sylvain again. Thank you so much for joining us. And now we will dial in our next startup who is also joining online, and it's Pablo Vidarte and Bio. They actually have a booth also at Wolf Summit here. All right, can you say something so that we make sure that we can hear you, Pablo?
Hello? Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
We can.
How are you doing?
Perfect. I'm starting the clock to 3 minutes. Good luck.
Thank you very much. So I'm here to speak about Bio, which is a biotech company focused on creating the next biotechnological transformation of our world. We do biological batteries that are able to generate energy from the soil itself, or biological switches that basically use living plants as, switches that can be used to create domotics, activate lights, or anything. And the thing is that for the time being, we've been very focused on research and development. Even the European Parliament gave us the award of the most innovative company of Europe. Google gave us the award of the most disruptive company in the world. And Forbes listed us twice in their 30 under 30 list. And the thing is that we already have a line on the market to transform urban environments. We've already worked with a lot of different clients, as the ones that you see below. And these are our facilities. On the left, our labs and offices. On the right, the external fields that we have to do every single testing of everything we do under very different environments. So in general terms, these are the two technologies that we manage. The first one is using plants, living plants, as biological switches. We are able to perceive changes in frequencies when there's a human presence nearby, either touching the plant or just close to the plant. And with that, we're able to detect that frequency through the plant, which is a conductive body, through the soil, which it is as well. And we're able to activate lights, screens, sounds, whatever we want. So it's another way to create domotics out of nature itself. And then we have the other technology, which is using biological batteries that are able to generate energy from the organic decomposition of organic matter in the soil just by using natural microorganisms. So in general terms, these are the products that we already have. And our model, it's a license model. So we work with companies that want to create their own products with these technologies to really create a revolution. For example, we have BioLux, which, as you just mentioned, is actually exposed there in our booth in the Wolf Summit. And Basically, it's a plant pot that is activated just by the touch of a human hand with the plant itself, and it's made of translucent ceramic, which is actually very innovative as well. We always want to work with the most innovative materials. And apart from that, we also do installations which are bigger to create domotics in the interior of buildings, in shops, offices, even creating music. This is a piano, by the way, or doing things like this bench, which is able to charge your phone just by plugging it to nature, which is using the other technology, biological batteries. And the most interesting one, perhaps, which is a biopanel, able to generate energy from parks and gardens just by placing one of these panels below the soil itself. It's able to generate energy enough for a big light point in 7 by 7 meters, or 6 smaller light points in the same area. So in general terms, we want to transform environments and cities, either to make them greener, but also to create a new kind of symbiosis with nature, to generate energy or to communicate with it. And in general terms, I also wanted to mention this, which is that we are able to not only do these incredible things, but also absorb CO2 from the atmosphere with these technologies. So thank you very much and really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Pablo. Round of applause for you from Wrocław. And now let's move on to the questions. We have a bit over 3 minutes to go through them.
Yeah, thanks for the presentation. I have some question regarding the IP protection, because I think you need to protect it quite heavily to avoid some competition taking it over. How is that?
Yeah, actually we have already 3 patents and 1 extra that it's about to be, well, that it's already launched, but it's about to be granted. The thing is that with these 3 ones that we already have, we are protecting both the biological batteries and the biological switch. We have 1 for the last one and 2 for the biological batteries.
Go ahead.
For the biological battery, how much power can you actually create?
Yeah, so in general terms, bear in mind that we're producing not that much. What I mean is that we are producing around 1 watt per square meter per day, approximately. The good thing here is that it's a constant amount of energy during day and night time. And as you've seen with the extrapolations of those images, we're able to light up a big light point in 7 by 7 meters, which is kind of the best average that you can have.
We still have 2 minutes. Mm-hmm.
You said your business model is licensing, right? Mm-hmm. Does that mean you don't produce that biological battery or the pad that's being used?
We actually do, because we have a capability to make up to 10,000 units per month approximately, and right now we are providing them as well to certain clients. But our main model is the license model anyway. So we can do both things. Depends on the interest of every client.
Could you say something about your team that was not covered in the slides and the competences behind?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a team of experts in every single field. I mean, we have people coming from NASA and other investigation centers, such as the CESIC and others. And the thing is that we work with people that are the main experts in every single area, from the marketing director who comes from a big corporation where she was the marketing director managing 40 million euros of budget, to the operations officer who has more than 20 years of experience with big corporations as well, mainly from the automobile industry. And apart from that, we also work with many entities from the Tel Aviv University, which are leaders in energy and agriculture, to the CNRS, which is like the French investigation center, which are leaders in biological batteries. And working with all of this is how we make ourselves become leaders in biological batteries applied to external terrains. So in terms of competitors, we basically find that there are biological batteries in the world, mainly used for wastewater treatment systems, which means that they need to be enclosed under controlled environments. And done under external conditions, we find the closest company is actually called Plant E in the Netherlands, which are basically focused on wetlands. They need to be underwater. We are focused on solid ground batteries in general. So that's it.
Thank you, Pablo. We ran out of time, so you perfectly finished the question. So thank you so much. Big round of applause for you from Wrocław Congress Center, where Wolf Summit is held. Thanks for joining. And now let us see whether we can see here joining us on stage the startup Cody and Manuel Arenaz. So here are,
Test.
I think should be ready. All right, so I'm starting the clock. Good luck.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here presenting Cody. My name is Manuel Arenaz. Have you seen an autonomous car in the street equipped with software for 5G, IoT, collision detection systems? These cars are equipped with more than 150 million lines of code. And this is growing exponentially every day due to more and more demand as users of more and more functionality. So there is a clear need to produce software that runs fast by processing more instructions and more data. And the hardware helps, but the hardware is not enough. So the key is to provide professional software developers with tools to produce fast software. And in the software development space, there are tools. Existing tools cover security issues, bug catching, compliance to enforce regulations, but they have overlooked performance. Performance is not really addressed by these professional software tools. So Cody, for the first time, is enabling to achieve less performance by providing automated code inspection specifically designed for performance. How does Cody works? It scans the code without executing it, produces a report for the developer, and the developer knows exactly where the performance issue is, why the software is not running as fast as possible, and how to fix it, so that just rebuild the software, run it again, and eventually run faster. So kind of the expert in performance in a box. So we have real-world actionable results in producing, using Cody, software that runs 50% faster at an error rate less than 2%. So clear, actionable results. We have an excellent team, B2B, a high-tech team oriented to B2B sales, 13 people and growing, and essentially with collectively more than 150 years of experience in everything related to producing tools specialized in performance for professional developers. Software development market is huge, but I would like to remark that it is growing faster than ever at 22% year over year. Market traction, we have a clear and proven business model. We are selling B2B, sales, software subscriptions. We have customers worldwide from the US to Australia, going through China and Saudi Arabia. So real proven model. And our strategy for growth is direct sales in Europe and the US, going through channel partners, strategic channel partners in territories where doing business has more barriers like China, Japan, Korea, or India, going through there, and partnering with channel partners who have proven track record to sell these kind of solutions in those markets. And more in the longer term, technological partnerships, OEM in our Cody technology and solution in products of our companies. So what are we looking for and why we are here? I'm very pleased to present Cody at this space. First, we are looking for a leading investor that can cover 50-60% of an open round of 4 million, and our current investors are fully committed to follow on in this round. And also, we are a company purely business-oriented, so we are looking for opportunities to become software providers of very innovative companies like LG, setting up projects for proof of concept and selling licenses that they become our customers. So we're looking forward to partnering with you and very pleased to present this opportunity here. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And let's move on to the questions. Who'd like to start? Sometimes it's a good sign that there are no questions because you addressed everything. But go ahead.
I think you have a very ambitious future plan to work with various companies. I saw in your slide Oak Ridge. Is it your current partner with that lab, or what's the relationship with them?
Yeah. In the US, we have the main reference customer that was early customer for more than 2 years, is the DOE, particularly NERSC in California and Oak Ridge National Lab in Tennessee. And essentially, our relationship with them is that they have purchased early releases of Codee software more than 1 year ago, even in pre-commercial stage. And then also we have a strategic partnership with them. We have contracts to further develop Codee technology aligned with the key needs of their users to produce faster software. So this is one of the ways we collaborate with big companies or with big national labs, so that we can reprioritize the development of features that will be developed following our roadmap within 2 years, and we can do it within 6 months. It's a way of win-to-win approach. We get early revenue for our company. Cash is the key for any startup, and they get Codee producing the results they need earlier, months in advance of what would be the traditional, the regular approach. I hope this answers your question. So they have licensed the software and also partnering with contracts to develop features tailored for them.
2 minutes left.
So how is the learning curve for some customer using your software, and what would be your demand in terms of support that you have to deliver just to see how you can scale the business?
Essentially, the model is B2B sales. We sell the software, and the software usually cannot be sold only with that. So typically, our average deal size is around 60,000, 8,000 euro, more or less 80% in licensing, and 20% more or less in support, because we know that professional software development teams need support on our side to really reply to their questions quickly. The level of service level agreement depends on the requirements of each customer. So we are flexible and adapt to the needs of each business unit. We license the software per business unit. Within a big corporation, the software is licensed to business unit 1, and once they succeed, our strategy is land and expand within the corporation, so that we can find a second business unit that can use the software, and so on, until our objective to sell enterprise-wide software licenses to help the many business units across the corporate. I hope this answers your question.
All right, 1 minute left. I can see Greg has a question.
I'm just curious regarding the POC. That I also saw that you're looking for investment. So what is this money for? Because for me, it looks like that you have a very well-established business model, but I'm just curious about the future.
Sure. In December, we tripled the revenue over the previous year. Our goal for this year, December this year, is to again triple the revenue. Again, reaching the 1 million milestone in terms of revenue, 70% in ARR. And essentially for doing this, we estimate we need 4 million. 60% of the proceeds will be devoted to business development, and essentially, and will give us cash for 24 months of operations. So reinforcing the team and essentially investing in going to market verticals, identify the business units within the innovative companies like LG, and land and expand within the business. This is our main focus today, to grow, to enter into the growth stage.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. And now we will move on to our next startup, who will be joining us online. And let us see whether we can connect with Selfit Medical, presented by Shahar Figelman. All right.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, yes, we can hear you, we can see you, we can see your screen. Right. So feel free to start your presentation. Good luck.
All right, hello. So my name is Shahar, and I'm the CEO of Selfit. We are a digital robotic company focusing on aging market. We are based in Israel, so hello from Tel Aviv. So we have started originally as a health tech company, develop a unique human-machine interaction based on a therapist robot. Our robot can replace the work of physical therapists and occupational therapists with people with common age-related disorders. It also works in various settings, hospitals, clinics, and senior living facilities. Our next goal is to make it ready for the home use. I see I have a problem. All right. So how does it work today? The robot is equipped with a projector and a camera. It basically communicates with the person, instructing what exercise he needs to perform, and provides feedback on the performance. It makes some kind of clinical assessments in order to propose better personalized plan based on the person's data that was gathered by the robot and our AI engine. So if you see, for example, that you have a problem with your left leg, the next exercise could be one to work on your left leg. The interaction is very intuitive, even for older people, and very immersive as well, using our AR projection of exercise on the floor. Looking at the home market, so there's a huge opportunity with 1 billion people in the world over 60 years old, where 60% of them are not physically active. Now, being physically and cognitively engaged is critical component for both the prevention and maintenance phases before something happened, as well as for the recovery phase after something happened. However, this service is still based either on human therapists, and there is a real shortage around the world of therapists, or digital therapy solutions, which are not really applicable for the elderly population. The screen is too small, and the intervention is really limited. So this is why we see potential for our home robot solution, which is a smaller version of our B2B product with a unique interface with many impact factors for both health, fun, and insights. The robot could be working with LG projector and camera, and can be also working with other wearables or sensors where needed. And there are more synergies with LG future on brand, synergies around aging in place, robotics, and health data. The proposed business model is to rent the device for $50 per month for home use. The main challenge here is really to reduce the costs of the hardware to have a valid business model, and this could be also achieved by working together. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Can we hear some applause for Shahar? And now let's move on to the Q&A. Would like to start from our judges?
Thanks for the presentation. Did you make some usability tests? So how is the acceptance rate in elderly people which might have some hesitations to work with robots?
Yeah, so we had like few clinical trials. I mean, as a healthcare company, both in B2B settings in the hospitals with stroke patients, geriatrics, Parkinson's as well at the home settings. And we saw it's really intuitive for them, even with a very short introduction about what they need to do. They really understand because it's very intuitive, you know, it's very explicit. You understand what you need to do. Very easy, very clear. You can see that as well. And yeah, so we had some usability tests also in the UK as well.
All right, we have 3 minutes left. Go ahead, Girko.
I just would like to add on to that question. So I really like my grandma, and she suffers from obesity. Well, she's not suffering, but you know, the problem with her is like, I mean, she really needs to do some exercise, but she doesn't want to. So how do you overcome that problem? Because your solution can provide very good tips, like, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that, you know, X times a day. But the problem with the elderly is that they don't really want to exercise. So do you have any like motivation or something like that? I mean, tools for that? Yeah, so originally, I mean, as a medical grade device, basically we can interact with the patients at home and tell them now they need to do something, okay? The machine can start working, and you know, we feel that they really want to do something for themselves. Now, if someone is not really eager to do anything, you know, just sit and watch LG television, so it's okay. But I mean, this is why we started as a medical company, because they have incentive to do something. But yeah, we can work out to do it much more motivated. The exercise are like games a little bit, so you get like score, and it's, you know, getting more social. So yeah, there are like options to make it more motivated for even, you know, couch potatoes.
Great. 1 minute left. Any other questions? All right.
Is anyone from your sales team from medical device sales or anything like similar network?
Yeah, I mean, we came from, tech, but we also have a few medical agents working with us. We're just starting now sales for the B2B. Okay, we have CE mark, and yeah, the plan is to sell it first as a medical device, and then hopefully to be working as a wellness, cytomedical device for the home use as well.
Okay, we still have a bit of time. Do you have any other questions? Okay.
Maybe you can tell a little bit more about the general team and overall the structure and who is there and the background.
So we have like 5 people, the team coming from tech, augmented reality, computer vision. This is the core, and we have great advisors, a few professors coming from neuroimaging, rehab, neurorehabilitation, and AI. So they are really supporting us along the way. And we are working with several hospitals around the world. We are funded by the NHS in the UK. We have strategic with a few elderly care chains in China. So we get their expertise as well back to the product as well.
All right, thanks a lot. Big round of applause to you from us from here in Wrocław. And now another startup joining online. Let us see Soundream and Roberto Iannone joining online. Oh, Anna. No. Okay, there was some change. No worries. We're happy. We're happy to have you pitching. So we can see your screen. Yeah. I'm starting the clock to 3 minutes. Good luck.
Yeah, last change on the last minute because Roberto just gave birth last night to a new baby. So he's at the hospital. So I'm here to introduce Soundream today. So I'm Ana Laguna. I'm co-founder together with Roberto and the CEO of the company and researcher within the company. Soundream is a health tech company based in Switzerland and in Spain, where we translate newborn cries. This is an adventure that I started more or less 5 years ago when I gave birth to my first child. I'm like a very curious data scientist. I started analyzing the cries by hobby, no? So the results were amazing, no? But apart from that, it was not just the curiosity of a data scientist, it was also the concern of a new mother, no? How those cries could look like, no? How I'm gonna be able to interpret them. And apparently it was not my only concern, because 80% of new parents feel anxious and completely unprepared for raising their coming babies. And it's quite understandable because more than 40% of baby deaths occur during the very first months. However, 2/3 could be prevented by early diagnosis and treatment. And that's why Soundream is here. Soundream Solution is an artificial intelligence system analyzing cry sounds. And analyzing cry sounds not only from a communicative perspective, where we try to analyze needs and emotion to understand if the baby is hungry, sleepy, or irritated, but also with a health perspective. We use infant cries as a biomarker to support early diagnosis of pathologies and neurodevelopmental disorders. As it is pretty well known among neonatologists and neuropsychologists that babies having neurological issues, they have an atypical cry. Similar for autism, for eating issues, for hyperactivity, etc. So how does it really work? Well, our business model is B2B2C. So we are licensing our software into any third party's hardware. So our customers could be health tech, customer electronics companies. It could be baby monitors for babies, trolleys, baby beds, or even Alexa, Google Home, no? Any voice assistant. At the end, any device having a microphone. And licensing our technology is the way to generate revenues and at the same time continue collecting data. That is our core value too. Which is the status of the product, no? So the needs and emotions part, the communicative part, have been already tested with a lot of families around the world for the last 3 years, and it's already is ready to be launched into the market in 3 different continents at the end of this year, beginning of the next one. And then on the pathologies and neurodevelopmental disorders part, the health part, we are running different clinical studies with different hospitals, nationally and internationally. In order to continue collecting pathological data, pathological cries, that is our treasure. No? All this is thanks to our wonderful team. This is the leadership team, the co-founders, where we combine a lot of experience of business, data science, sound analysis, but also our great team of software engineers and clinicians, of course. It would not be possible without. Well, we closed a round, the street round 1 year ago, like in October 2020, and now we are looking for the next funding round from Discord. That's all. Ready to reply to all your questions, if I can. A pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you, Anna. Round of applause for you from us. And now let's move on to the questions. Do we have any from our judges? All right.
Thank you, Anna, for the presentation. So you must have gone through measuring, recording a lot of babies' cries, and then categorizing them into, oh, I'm hungry, I'm sleepy, and so on and such. But how do you know a certain cry is actually hungry or a certain cry is actually sleepy? I mean, you can't ask them, right? So how do you do that?
Definitely. Well, there are a lot of scientific literature on that side. There are like 60 years of research on cry analysis to understand those cries. And if you go to a neonatology unit, nurses, they know perfectly what the babies are having, or even moms, after several weeks of being with the baby, you also know what is going on. But what we are also doing is to empirically prove that it's not only sound, but there are also something on the brains of the baby. So we are correlating those sounds also with encephalograms and the brain activity of the babies to confirm what is going on. But in any case, it's very well known that a hungry cry have those specific sound characteristics. Pain is these characteristics. We are at the end transferring this knowledge, this savoir-faire, into an artificial intelligence algorithm.
2 minutes left.
Kind of, maybe this is a dumb question. Do babies' cries have similar characteristics between Poland babies, Korean babies, or other nationality babies?
Yeah, this is a very nice question. And actually, those cries are different. Cries are different depending on the mother language of the mother, because the babies are listening since they are on the uterus is from week 28, no? So a Polish baby will have different cry acoustics than a Spanish one. The thing is that on our analysis, we are aware of that. We have a huge database, and we are able to bias those, and the algorithms that we are building are able to handle those differences because they don't impact the feature analysis or the analysis that we are carrying out.
All right, any other questions? We still have 1 minute.
Is there some risk that this sound detection, which is now quite innovative, might become a commodity over some times? And how would you then improve your solutions?
Do you mean sound detection or the cry itself?
Just it sounds like also image recognition, became quite a commodity over time. So it's a question: how would you differentiate then in the future with your solution?
Okay. So if there are other competitors, no, for example, I have other slides for competitors. So there are a couple of companies around, but there are key differences. First one is that they are developing apps. So from a mother point of view, from a family point of view, when your baby is crying, you don't want to use app, right? Because the user experience is not ideal. You want to really take care of your baby. But apart from that, from the technological point of view, the database that we are collecting compared to the ones that there are already is huge. We have babies from all around the world. And also, we are also this correlation with the brain that nobody did before. So we are trying to have the biggest data set, the biggest algorithms, but also the scientific, empirical proof regarding also the brain activity.
Thanks so much, Anna. That was a great presentation, and thank you for answering the questions. And by the way, it's Mom's Day today, Mother's Day in Poland. Not sure if you know. So also, all the best from the Wolves team to all the moms. And let's see if we can dial in Bijan Tadayon from Z Advanced Computing. All right.
Hi, Rosie. Can you see my screen?
Not yet. I think it will show in a second if you're sharing.
Okay. And you can hear me well?
Yes, we all can hear you. We have the full audience here in Wrocław. Sorry that you can't be here, but great that you dialed in online. So we are waiting for your screen. All right. Probably there are some technical issues. That's why we probably will change our plans slightly. Just let me check with the technical team. Yeah. So let's move on to the startup that we actually have here in person to shake it up a bit. And we'll have Kibus Petker and Albert Eichhardt joining us. So please approach us. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm starting the clock. You've got 3 minutes. Good luck.
Hi, everyone. This is Kibus, the first device that cooks healthy dog food automatically. It is the Nespresso for pet food. I'm Albert Eichhardt, the CEO, and I've been involved in the industry for all my life. My grandfather founded a company that has been feeding animals for almost 70 years, and I used to be the sales and marketing director. After years of experience, I realized that the number of pet owners considering their pets as part of the family is constantly increasing, and they want to give them the best nutrition. They are no longer satisfied with the heavily processed traditional solutions, and they are moving to healthier alternatives like cooking at home. However, these are very inconvenient and require a preparation process before every meal. Kibus solved this problem by allowing pet parents to feed their pets on a healthy and natural diet in the most convenient way. They only have to fill the water tank and fill the food tank with our recipes, and that's it. Kibus makes the rest. It makes the whole cooking process automatically, and when the food is ready, the orange ball goes out, and there is a sound to warn the pet. There is also water always available for drinking. And it is an IoT device, so you can schedule all meals and control everything from your smartphone. Our recipes are just human-grade meats, fruits, and vegetables, where only the water is gently removed for a longer shelf life, but keeping all the nutrients and the flavors from the fresh ingredients. Therefore, it has many advantages in terms of taste and health, giving dogs a longer and happier life. We are selling D2C with a subscription business model, and people get a personalized plan through our website, and they can subscribe for a monthly fee starting at 39 euros and having access to the full system. Pet food is a large market, with more than 500 million dogs and cats in the world, eating every year over 100 billion euro only in pet food. And the alternative foods are already the highest growing category in the industry. We are competing against corporates and also against emerging startups selling alternative foods for pets. We also compete against pet feeders. However, they only dose heavily processed traditional foods, while we are cooking warm and healthy food for dogs. We are 4 co-founders. I come from the pet food industry. Albert Oms has a financial background in companies like Nespresso and Coca-Cola. Marta Risa has experience in creating and scaling startups in the UPC University in Barcelona. And Paul Disbury has experience in the mass production of consumer electronics, both in China and in the UK. We have been developing our system for over 3 years now and have built the full system and protected and certified it. And we have already tested it with over 200 beta testers and are ready for mass production. We have also raised over 1 million euros so far. And now we are partnering with Nestlé Purina, the largest pet food company in the world, and we hope to partner with LG as well. And at the moment, we are fundraising to invest in marketing activities and increase the team to reach the first 2,000 subscribers to our system. Our technology has already been awarded by renowned entities and media all over the world, and we hope to have you on board to change the pet food industry worldwide together. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Let's give a round of applause to Albert. And now let's see if we have any questions. Are there any from our judges? We've got 3 minutes.
Thank you for the presentation. For the cellularly dehydrated food, the package, do you make it yourself or do you work with someone to make that?
Yeah, we take the ingredients from the human industry, not the pet food industry. So they are without byproducts, they are just the ingredients we eat, and we produce our own formulas, and these are our recipes.
A follow-up question, a slightly different angle. Any device that uses water is very prone to bacteria issues and hygiene issues. So for your device, the cooking device, how do you address the hygiene issue, such as cleaning and maintaining bacteria-free and so on?
Yeah, so cleaning and hygiene and safety have been the most important issues during development. We have all the elements that are in contact with food or water are removable and dishwasher safe. So it's very easy to clean everything. We have a food tank for the food. This is not an issue because our food has less than 4% humidity. It can be stored without any fridge or freezer for over a year, so it doesn't have biological issues. Then we have the water tank, which is like an espresso water tank. It's removable and it can be cleaned the same way. And then we have the food bowl and the water bowl that are very easily removable. So whenever the user wants, they can exchange the bowl and put the dirty one to the dishwasher.
2 minutes left. Any other questions?
The 40 euros per month, does that include food as well, or just the machine?
Yeah, the price goes from this to 99 euro for most of the dogs, depending on their size, and it includes everything. So the use of the device at home, the application, and all the food they need for the monthly consumption.
But it depends on the pet. I mean, like they could eat more or less. So how did you?
Yeah, so it's a personalized plan. When you get in our e-commerce, you give your pet's information, activity, age, size, and everything, and you get a personalized plan, so you know the exact quantity they need to eat every day, and the price depends on the quantity they eat a month. So it goes from 39 for the small ones to 99 to the big ones, and then there are extra large that pay more, but they are like 10% of the market.
All right. Any last questions?
Do dogs like your food?
Yeah.
I'm asking because even people, they don't, they often like junk food or like a fast food rather than very healthy food, right? I'm sure your food is very healthy, but how is it received by dogs?
Yeah, so junk food, it's not healthy, but it's designed to be palatable sometimes. But ours, they love it because it's warm and it's wet, so it's served recently cooked. And these are factors that they love, and the ingredients are high quality and also with high meat, so they love the taste as well.
All right, we don't have time for further questions, but thank you so much for answering them. And now, let us see if we can connect to Bijan again, to see if we can see the slides this time.
Yeah. Hi, Rosie, can you see us?
Yes, we can. We are very happy about that. So I'm starting the clock to 3 minutes. Good luck.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. My name is Bijan Tadarian from ZAC, and since 2011 we have been working on the 3D image recognition for cognitive explainable AI based on concept learning. And the premise is that we can train the machine with a few training samples instead of thousands or millions or billions. And it has many applications. So Said and I, we both got PhD from Cornell. We were number 1 and 2 at undergrad at Cornell, and Said was 23 when he got PhD, so he was the youngest PhD. So 30 years ago, we designed and fabricated the fastest transistor in the world, gallium arsenide HBT transistors. So we have a very strong team. We have a very strong academic advisor as well. One of them has a Nobel Prize, head of research for Caltech, head of research for Cornell. And one of our co-inventors, he was a UC Berkeley Air Hall of Fame, father of fuzzy logic, and he also invented Z-transform in 1950s. So we have over 450 inventions, including 13 issued US patents. And so what's the problem with the state-of-the-art industry, deep CNN and ResNet? So in this example, the binary human detector, if you put a sign in front of the human, it becomes non-human. So it's very fragile. And in this example, if you put a picture of panda, a small amount of noise, panda becomes gibbon and gives you 99% confidence level. So it's fragile and gives you bogus and misleading confidence levels. So ZAC overcome all of these problems. And we had 2 projects since 2019 with US Air Force and Bosch. US Air Force 3D aerial vision since 2019. We got 3 consecutive contracts. We are in the middle of them right now. And all of them same users, very successful in the first one. And so far we got $2.8 million contract. And with Bosch, we had a POC, very successful, 2019 to 2021, 3 years. So Major technical breakthroughs for Bosch and US Air Force projects: higher accuracy, reproducibility, and robustness. Only few training samples, between 5 to 50, instead of thousands or millions or billions than others do. We use CPU on a laptop only for training and recognition instead of GPU servers and supercomputers. So this is the result of major advantages for Bosch and US Air Force. We are cognitive and we can do generalized learning. The others cannot do other algorithms. And we use very few training samples, 5 to 50. And then we use a small hardware, like a laptop, and a smaller power and a smaller, battery usage. So we can go to the edge. Others cannot go to the edge that easily. And we use much smaller carbon footprint, so it's much better for the environment. So we are making our platform, so pieces of platform with these projects, 3 projects we have done so far, 3 verticals, Shu, Aerial Vision, and Bosch. So we are making these pieces of this platform, and at the end, it would enable everything: image search, e-commerce, ad network, smart home appliances for LG, and then manufacturing inspection, detection that could be also useful for LG and autonomous vehicles. So so far, since 2011, mostly self-funding, 500K seed investor, 100K state of Maryland. We are raising $4 million right now. Contracts non-dilutive, we got $2.8 million so far from US Air Force. We got some money from Bosch, and the potential from US Air Force, same customer, for development, finishing the development, up to $45 million they told us. So this is just for the development, and once we get to the deployment, it could be much more than $45 million. So it could be hundreds of millions of dollars from Pentagon. So these guys are interested in our technology, many people around the world, and it has many applications. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Let's give a round of applause to Bijan. And now let's move on to the questions. We have 3 minutes.
Hi, Bijan, for the thank you for the presentation.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Where does your IP come from? Is it your own development, or is it from? I understand you're from Cornell. Is it from Cornell, or where is it from?
No, basically, all of the IPs, there are 3 inventors, me and my brother and Professor Zadeh, all of them belong to Zach. So we assigned everything to Zach. So Zach owns all of the IP. So the individuals, they don't have an IP. And the Cornell or Caltech or Berkeley, the professors come from different universities, but the universities don't own any IP. We own all of the inventors assign the IP to the company. So none of the universities or individuals have any IP. All of them belong to the company Zach already assigned.
2 minutes left. Any other questions?
It looks like you have demonstrated some success with your the sort of testing pilots and so on. Have you done any commercial deployment?
So basically, we are still under the. We have done 3 verticals: the Shu recognition part of the Shu for e-commerce, Aerial Vision 3D for US Air Force, and a smart appliance for Bosch. So there are 3 different verticals, and we are basically making our platform finished. We already finished 25% of our platform. Once the platform is finished, that would be the most valuable AI company in the world, because we are the only company in the world, to my knowledge, that we can do training with a few training samples. There's no other company like that, no universities. And so basically, with one laptop, $1,000, we beat 560 GPU servers. So this is a huge difference. And in stuff like 3 billion images that the Google is using for the training, or Chinese Academy of Sciences 1.75 trillion parameters, we only use 5 to 50 samples. And basically, it's many orders of magnitude less training sample, and the much smaller, hardware and memory and energy. So it's many advantages. It's by orders of magnitude. It's not just 10% improvement, and also our accuracy and reproducibility is much better. If you want, I can give you one example about how we do the concept training.
Thanks so much. We don't have time for any more questions, but thanks so much for your pitch and for answering them. Big round of applause. And now, let us see whether we can connect with Yaz Imamura from vStyle.
So should I share the screen now?
Yes, you should, and we can see it. If only you go full screen.
Can you see?
All right. So you've got 3 minutes to pitch. Good luck.
All right. So my name is Yaz. I'm from V-Style. Let's just jump into the presentation. So your life is 100% creation of your brain. What you see, what you hear, and what you taste. All of your experiences are a reflection of your neural signal patterns. So your brain is actually the key to your well-being. So we help you to tune your brain and improve your life. How do we do that? With neural feedback. While you listen to music, it can automatically tune your brain. In the coronavirus era today, mental stress is abounding. Research said that 53% of the people suffer from more stress in their lives. More stress leads to less sleep. Less sleep leads to less productivity. In the long term, stress can lead to serious mental diseases like depression and dementia. Our first product is called the V-Zone, the cyber earphone that makes you hyper-focus, capable of measuring your brainwaves and heart rate. Our AI-driven application analyzes your mental state in real time, and it reports your focus level, calmness, fatigue, and helps you to change it with a personal music that fits your brainwave pattern. We sell V-Zone at $399 with an additional $9 monthly subscription fee. V-Zone was evaluated in a clinical study by the University of Tokyo, and the research paper was published in 2021 and peer-reviewed and accepted by IEEE. We ran a very successful Kickstarter campaign that reached more than $97,000 in 4 weeks, and we have been covered by many international media like TechCrunch and Yahoo. And the neurotech market is one of the last frontiers, and it's growing quickly. It is estimated to become $5 billion market in 2024, and Elon Musk's Neuralink just received $200 million funding last year. The neurotech has many potential applications. We are currently developing 2 B2C services and more than 20 projects with many partners, including telecoms, auto companies, pharmaceutical companies, and electronic manufacturers. And our growth rate will reach more than 400% this fiscal year, and we are expecting substantial growth next year and beyond. Thank you.
Thanks so much. And now we move on to the questions. Who'd like to start? We've got 4 minutes.
Thanks for the presentation, Yas. I have a just simple question. Does it have to be in-ear? Can it be over the ear?
It can be over the ear. I mean, we are developing headphones as well. But in-ear is headphones, so it can be over the ear, around the ear, we call it. And in-ear has like closer, direction is closer to the brain, so slightly signals better, but it can be around the ear as well.
So your device can both sense and also create some waves that's an input to the brain, right?
Yes, so we call it in-ear closed loop. So you detect the signal and make the music to stimulate your brain. So it can change the direction, for example, to more focus or being more calm.
So I assume the waves that you create and how that is affected or how that affects a person can be measured real time or sensed real time, and you adjust the waves in a different way?
So, I mean, our sensing detection, like latency is probably in a second or something. So it can be changed in real time. But if you want to, like, to create the music, like it has to be music. So, so for example, you can create the sound like binaural beats. Binaural beats can make like the waves called alpha wave, which is related to the alpha, relaxedness, the calmness. Or we can like change the playlist, like, your favorite music may lead your brain to sleepiness. So it can be like any kind of audio and videos as well. Could be game. Neurofeedback is more popular in the game.
We still have some time if there are any questions.
Where's the key competitiveness? Is it in the hardware that you build or in the software to control it or to get the feedback, the brain feedback?
I think the core technology is about analyzing the brainwave and detecting some kind of meaning out of the brain. So it's about the AI. So hardware is one of the portion of our technology, but our core is AI.
I can see any additional questions. So would you like to add something to our audience here in Wrocław?
Are you asking me? Hello, everyone. I wanted to be there, but I couldn't find the time. So maybe next time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're happy we could dial you in. So big round of applause once again for Yaz. And now I believe that the next startup will be joining us in person. And yes, I can see that Stefano is approaching me. Yes, all right. So I'm starting the clock to 3 minutes. Feel free to start. Good luck.
Okay, thank you. I'm Stefano Caverni. I'm one of the founders of Phononic Vibes. Phononic Vibes is a deep tech startup. We are a spin-off from Politecnico di Milano, and we aim to solve the problem of noise and vibration with our metamaterials technology. Noise and vibration is everywhere. I think all of you experience some problem like this in your houses or in different kind of buildings, infrastructure. So we want to be noise manager in this framework. So we would like to take this noise and vibration problem to focus on the frequencies that are most annoying for human ear and for human comfort, and trying to solve these problems in the more effective way with our technology. Our technology is based on metamaterials technology, so in practical we are independent on the raw material itself, but we design and we work on topology optimization of our product. So basically we start from the topology and geometry optimization of a unit cell, and due to the fact that we are independent on the constituent material, we can also work on with recycled material or end-of-life material that in general don't have particular noise absorption properties. We have 12 patents applied on this kind of technology, 2 granted. And as I was saying, so our principle is to start from a unitary cell, from a primitive units, and to replicate in the space and apply this principle to different kind of product and sectors. At the moment, we work in 3 main verticals. So in infrastructure, we work with Deutsche Bahn to develop an acoustic barrier for railway. And we work also in transportation and appliances with different kind of partners, as you see in the slide. Regarding the business model in infrastructure, we follow all the part of the process of the product, so from the design to the on-site installation, while in transportation and appliances, we work mainly with co-development approach, so with our partners, and at the end, we work with the supplier agreement or royalties for the product that we develop. This is the board and our, let's say, team. So we are the 3 main founders and the investors that gave us the 2 funds that we received in the past years. And just a use case for the final slide. So in automotive, what we did is a partnership with Adler Pelzer, that is a tier 1 in the automotive industry, and we work for a German OEM in order to develop these tools to produce our solution and to gain the same sound insulation of the standard product into the market, but with a 30% weight saving that is fundamental in automotive, and with a 3% saving in the cost of the solution. So thank you.
Thanks a lot. Just in time, now we are ready for the Q&A. So let's see if there are any questions from our judges.
Hi, I just would like to see some use cases in the home appliance industry, because you mentioned automotive, but probably it would be more relevant to just talk about that a little bit as well.
Yeah, let's say the appliances industry is similar to the automotive. So in that kind of industries, we work with, as I said, with a co-development approach. So usually we have Tier 1 partners that work with us in the industrialization phase of the product, and usually, yeah, let's say the target of our solution is usually to get best performances with respect to actual solution into the market, but usually with also with a plan to have industrial solution that could be produced via industrial techniques and with a reduction in cost and with sustainable material and sustainable approach. So let's say the framework is more or less the same. Obviously, the market then is different.
All right, we still have 2 minutes. Any other questions?
You talked about metamaterial. It sounds quite expensive at first glance. Can you tell something about your price competitiveness?
For example, let's talk about infrastructure. For example, we are developing a new acoustic barrier for railway. In that kind of sector, we are fully competitive with the standard price that common solution have in the market. So we are about the 400 euro per meter square. That is the standard, a common price for this kind of solution. In appliances, for example, we are looking to in the kitchen hoods industry to replace the common porous and fibrous material that usually are adopted, and for that kind of solution we are at let's say 10 euros per kitchen hood. In our case, we are working for a solution that is cheaper, so 6-7 euros for kitchen hoods. So we always try to industrialize the solution in order to keep in mind these boundaries in terms of cost.
Okay, the photograph you showed me as a prototype of metamaterial. I think it is very complex. It has very complex structure. How do you produce that kind of complex structure in a cost-effective way?
So on the slide, you have seen some, let's say, some cubes that prototypes were produced via 3D printed, but they are just academic protos. Now, as I was saying, we are declining this technology into a more industrialized way. So let's say the repetition of the unit cell is now for most of the product in the plane. So we are talking about a layer or panel or let's say or surfaces. In this way, it is possible to adopt standard techniques, so as injection molding or extrusion of profiles. So, for example, in the infrastructure industry, the product will be produced by extrusion of the solution. In the appliances, kitchen hoods industry, we work with a solution that will be produced via injection molding of recycled plastics. So these are, let's say, the common techniques that we use and how we decline the technology in the different use case.
Thanks a lot. We actually ran out of time. So thanks so much for joining us on stage. And now we'll see if we can be joined by TGO, Software-Enabled Services, and Jakub.
Hello, everyone.
All right.
My name.
Yes, we can hear you. We can see your screen. So feel free to start your presentation now.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So my name is Jakub. I'm with TG0. We are a London-based company, and we take everyday industrial polymers and turn them into extraordinary customer experiences. So what we do is we can help our partners, like LG, for instance. We can help you build quite exciting, quite innovative human-machine interfaces. We can detect touch, gesture, pressure, movement, and deformation purely by using the polymers as the sensing medium. And that's the main value proposition, that in comparison with our competitors, we use only the polymers, so no in-mold electronics, no flex, no films, no e-prints. So we drastically reduce the cost and complexity. both in the assembly and also in disassembly. But we also offer quite a high-performing way to detect touch, gesture, pressure, and that offers you new opportunities for innovation. So there are three components to our technology. Firstly, everything we do is based on capacitive touch sensing, so a very well understood methodology, but we remove a lot of the electronic components, over-reliance on PCBs, over-reliance on rare earth metals, load cells, whatever else, and we push all of that functionality into the software and the structuring of the polymers. Second component of the technology is deformation sensing. So assuming that the A side can be deformed, we can detect the deflection and use that to control technology. And thirdly, we can do pressure mapping. So for instance, EVA foams, we can monitor their changing profile and use it as a more like an IoT style sensor for various applications. One of our key applications is automotive HMIs. We remove cost, we reduce cost, we reduce the Z-stack, the complexity. As I mentioned, we improve end-of-life sustainability. But this is kind of our core business. 40% of our revenue last year was in automotive HMIs. Secondly, another use case is pressure mapping for connected fitness, smart home, medtech, and similar use cases. And lastly, we do a lot of business in consumer electronics, gaming, robotics, and as I said, we help partners like LG build, for instance, metaverse controllers, connected fitness devices. Our business model has two stages. So there is an NRE stage, and then we go to licensing. We don't manufacture anything. We rather do a know-how transfer and work with a contract manufacturer to do the manufacturing. Lastly, company has been founded in 2015. Current headcount is 35 people. We have numerous patents granted for this technology. We are currently raising. What I'm looking for here is a joint development of a product or investment. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Big round of applause for Jakub. And now let's move on to the Q&A. Who'd like to start from our judges? All right.
Thank you, Jakub, for the presentation. In your use case number 2, you indicated some potential application in smart homes. Have you some examples of what you have done, or suggest what we could potentially do together?
Sure. So I have a video. I can share it perhaps later on our one-to-one meeting. We built a prototype for Airbus for a smart chair, smart seat that kind of monitors the behavior of the pilot, how their weight moves, etc. Based on this technology, we've built pressure sensing insoles, pressure sensing yoga mats for esports, health applications. We can do I can imagine quite easily, we can do a kind of some sort of a sleep monitoring mat. So whenever pressure is detected either on the floor or a desk or a couch, we could detect that and use it to either control technology or be like an IoT sensor.
All right, we still have 2 minutes. Any other questions? Greg? No? Okay, Michael or Greg?
The question is, can we get also some feedback when you just get the touch sensing? Is it also possible to get some feedback to get the user some indication that something had been pressed, for instance, in a user interface?
Yes, of course. So that's not technically our core technology. We offer the sensing bit, but we can integrate other components like haptics, lights, other biomechanical sensors. So yes, absolutely.
All right. I believe there are no further questions, but would you like to add something to our audience here in Wrocław?
No, thanks so much. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for the invite.
Yes, thanks for joining us. So big round of applause again for Jakub. And now let's see if we can see Henrike somewhere here. So please approach me. for your in-person pitch. From this side is best. You're welcome. This is a clicker. Good luck. Yes, I'll start the clock.
Okay, hi. My name is Henrike, and I'm co-founder of Replique. And we enable OEMs to provide trusted parts for everyone, everywhere. Currently, we have more than 15 customers trusting in Replique across different industries, customers like Miele and Alstom. But today, I want to talk about LG and what we, Replique, can do for you. So basically, the challenge. There's two large trends that we see with parts. So we, as consumers, we're all consumers, we want to get more out of our products. We want to individualize our products. We want to upgrade them. So we want our brands that we buy from to provide lots of accessories to us. And at the same time, we want to be sustainable. And that means that we want to repair our products for a long time, and we have this desire to repair, or, as we have it in Europe already, the right to repair. So what does this now mean for brands or OEMs like you? Well, this means you have to provide a vast amount of spare parts and accessories, and many of them will be in rather low volume series. So is that even possible to do for you without pain? Well, here's my little spoiler. With Replique, it is possible. Because essentially, with our 3D printing network that is globally distributed and hand-selected to be able to provide trusted quality, industrial grade, we can offer this economic way of manufacturing small volume series. At the same time, with our digital product, we have the option, we have the digital inventory for you to handle all these parts in a very clever way, and we don't only manufacture, our network doesn't only manufacture, but also offers the drop shipment, so directly delivers to your customers. Basically, you as Replique, you can relax, you can enjoy what's most fun, you can design parts, you can sell them in your e-commerce shop, just the way you're selling other parts right now, and you can listen to your customers and find out what's the next parts that they really need. So basically, we kickstarted your digital inventory with a few first parts. So with this 3D printed accessory, you can install a turntable in your LG fridge. There's no longer digging for food in the back of your fridge, but you can just turn it comfortably and take out the piece of cake you want. At the same time, if you're having a party, don't worry. If you're frustrated with the glasses not fitting in the top shelf or falling over or breaking, you don't need to wash them by hand. You can just click in your 3D printed clip and store them safely and wash. If you lose a part or break a part, just order the spare part online on the LG shop, and it's going to be printed on demand and sent to your house. So basically, with Replique, life's good. So that was now the customer view, your customer view, but let's take a look at what that means for you at LG. Well, basically, everything stays the same. It's LG brand, it's LG quality, it's your LG web shop, and your happy LG customers. But in the back of it, you don't need to have inventory, you don't need to have a warehouse, you don't need to worry about manufacturing or shipping. It's safe, it's encrypted, it's quality grade. Go digital, go Replique.
Bravo for Enrique. And now let's move on to the questions, if there are any from our judges. So who'd like to start? Greg?
Yes, so my question is regarding to the quality assurance of these 3D printed parts. So how can you make sure that they will not break or they have the right quality, because it can damage LG brand?
Yeah, so basically, first of all, it's very important to have the right partners in manufacturing. So they are hand-selected by us and also certified, so we know exactly what quality they can deliver. The second thing is, of course, that when we onboard new parts with our customers, we take special care that, in the end, they're exactly the right quality. So I think I mentioned the customer Miele in the beginning. When you buy a Miele accessory that is routed through Replique. Miele will not see it anymore, but they can be sure the quality is right because we've done this in the beginning. We've checked this quality, and we have also our own encryption, which not only provides a secure way for your data, for your IP, but the partners are connected to our network, the printers are connected with this encryption, which also provides quality insurance because we know exactly who's printing what. They can't manipulate the files. They just print as it was qualified in the beginning. And quality documentation, of course. Yeah.
We have a bit more than 1 minute left. Any other questions?
Can you do metal parts in addition to plastic?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So anything that's 3D printable, and so metal, polymer, anything.
All right. I believe that's everything. But if you'd like to add something to our audience here, feel free.
Just thank you very much, and looking forward to the rest of the day.
Great. Thanks so much. Actually, this was the last pitch of this particular session, and once again, big thanks to LG for sponsoring this and being our partner for the Innovation Challenge. So we're very happy about that. And once again, thanks to our jury, Michael Holtkamp, Segi O, John Han, Tae Hong Park, and Gergo Gulias. Big round of applause for our jury. Thanks so much for joining. And now, I believe that we'll hear more from Jakub Zieliński, the CEO of MindGram, and we'll